Gu Fei unexpectedly traveled into a world full of courtyards. And awakened a system called Report Rewards. Just report any illegal or criminal behavior to the Public Security Department. You can receive generous rewards provided by the system. In a moment, the art style of the quadrangle completely changed. Faced with the stick meme of stealing chicken. Silly Pillar takes the public property of the steel rolling mill privately. Su Damao's promiscuous relationship with men and women. Jia Zhang's feudal superstition of jumping gods. Zhonghai embezzles the living expenses of his siblings. Gu Fei smiled at this. It seems that these beasts in the courtyard are really my good neighbors. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Rewards for Reporting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the spring of 1965. 95 Zizaman, South Tongluo Lane. Gu Fei rubbed his eyes and sat up from the bed. To the eye is a large red quilt high on the heated Kong. Turn your head. It's an octagonal immortal table and an enamel basin. All of them are old objects. Strange. He clearly remembers lying on the sofa watching TV just now. The plot of Qinhuairu asking He Yuzhu for boxed lunch is playing inside. At that time, he couldn't stand it and said 2 words. He Yuzhu is such a fool. I can't refuse such a small matter, I deserve to be wiped out by Qinhuairu. If it were me, I would definitely tidy her up. This Qinhuairu is really a blossoming lotus. For the sake of her own family, she is making every effort to indulge others. Why didn't anyone treat her? There's really nothing good in this yard, I really want to strike hard. Perhaps it was too late at night, and he felt inexplicably drowsy. Wake up again shit. Gu Fei patted his thigh through the quilt. This authentic touch. He shouldn't have traveled. Look at this set decoration. The red calendar of March 27, 1965 is written on the wall. In the mirror, although it is still my original face. I'm just wearing a cotton coarse cloth shirt. Open the door and take a rough look. A familiar face swept past from afar. It's Zhonghai, rushing to the backyard and not knowing what to do. Gu Fei didn't have time to think much, so he quickly closed the door. This is really a world full of emotions in a courtyard house. It's really unpredictable. It's just a matter of roast, but actually it was sent to him. I want him to live a happy and fulfilling life for the past 20 years. Clever and mischievous children beat up unreasonable relatives. Unexpectedly, in the end, they arrived at such a cunning animal nest. Have a good life in the future, drop, detecting host survival, binding to the report reward system rules. Anyone who successfully reports any illegal or criminal behavior can receive a generous reward from the system. Please report to the host as much as possible, just and upright. The mechanical sound stops here. Gu Fei looked at the blue electronic screen in a daze. The essential system for travelers has appeared. From then on, it will definitely develop rapidly and steadily. But this condition is a bit difficult to achieve. Reporting illegal and disorderly behavior is not that easy. After all, no one would write the 4 big characters, "I broke the law," on their face. Even if he knew it was a beast hideout. There is no evidence, no opportunity to report, and it is useless. Just as he was lost in thought, how to use this system. The sound outside the window immediately caught his attention. Whoever stole it, just admit it yourself, so as not to embarrass yourself when caught later. The voice is bright and soft. Gu Fei could tell that it was Lu Xiao's voice. Not very clear from afar, it seems to be coming from behind. It seems that there is activity in the yard. He quickly put on his clothes and went out to take a look. Just pushed open the door. I heard a commotion in the backyard. What are you saying? Everyone is in the same yard, how can they still slander people in vain? This was caused by Hiyuju's noise. It seems that Su Damao has fallen for him. Who slandered you? Look at how happy you are. Su Damao hugged his arm and took a step forward. We never mentioned that you stole the chicken, it's just that we saw a chicken in your house and asked about it. It's not you who did it, just say no. What's the point of arguing here? Those who didn't know thought you were jumping over the wall in a hurry. Hiyuju is not a coward either. Even at this moment, he was so spirited that he walked and wanted to come forward and fight with Su Damao. Zhonghai urgently grabbed him while pulling Su Damao to the side. Alright, if you have anything to say, just ask directly. Whoever should have done it is who did it, and when it comes to you, don't worry. Stealing a chicken is not a small matter, but it's not a big deal either. At most, we can condemn it and compensate one at the price. My grandfather is here, so naturally he will give you a fair deal. You two are also arguing and getting stuck. So many people are watching in the yard, and there are still children. Are we really going to fight? Now is a rule of law society. If anyone dares to take action, don't blame me for reporting to the police without mercy. Hiyuju and Su Damao didn't say much about Zhonghai's face. Two people each take a step back. Barely reconcile for 30 seconds. The next step is for Lu Haizhong to come out and speak in an official tone, saying some seemingly fair words. Gu Fei is far away, but he can see clearly. The yard is currently having a grand meeting. Zhonghai, Lu Haizhong, and Yan Bugue are all presiding over justice in the courtyard. Hiyuju, Su Damao, and Lu Xiaoyi confronted each other. Qin Huairu stood on the side, watching the stick-stem locust flowers and the others, as if whispering in secret. The other neighbors gathered together with a lively expression on their faces. This scene made Gu Fei feel as if he had met Yan and he had returned. Plus, they keep saying that chickens are not chickens. Suddenly, a flash of inspiration flashed in his mind. This is the opening scene of the TV series, Stick Memes Stealing Chickens. He knows the whole process very well. First, Hiyuju privately took the public property of the steel rolling mill in front. Afterwards, there was the incident of the stick meme stealing the chicken and the silly pillar Wulong taking the blame. It's really dozing off. Come and give me a pillow. Two illegal and disorderly behaviors suddenly emerged. Thanks to Zhonghai reminding him to report to the police. This is the alarm, not for generous rewards. How can we let violations of laws and regulations go unpunished? Gu Fei went straight to the police station without saying a word. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Report directly to the police station. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Reporting requires sufficient evidence. There must be sufficient evidence to prove the crime. Gu Fei naturally knows. He didn't run to the police station this time because his mind was on fire. But there is real evidence. Just empirical evidence is not in hand. Police officer, I will report it. Gu Fei briefly reported his name and address, and then continued. There are two things in total. One is that Hiyuju in the courtyard at number 95 Zizaman privately seized national public property. The second is that the child in the same courtyard, Bang Ji, secretly caught the neighbor Su Damao's chicken. The young police officer across the street became interested in the two cases in an instant. While taking notes, he asked. Don't worry, let's talk one by one. First of all, could you elaborate on what specific public property was stolen by Hiyuju? And when was it taken, and what was its purpose? Gu Fei knew that the police needed to obtain accurate information in order to confirm that the caller was telling the truth. He replied, Hiyuju stole half of the chicken from the steel rolling mill. I'm not sure when I picked it up, the approximate time should be this morning. The purpose is to use it for food. The act of stealing half a chicken is completely insignificant in the rapidly developing contemporary society. Even when there is no existence, it can be directly vague in the past. But in 65 years, this means of production and living were very scarce. Even in the days when many places were still hungry. That is a very important event. Not only does it show low moral standards, but it also requires strong criticism and education. It also involves triggering group interests through private pursuit of public interests. Therefore, the police officer who took notes had a serious face. If this is true, be sure to handle it properly. It can also be considered as meritorious service. But he cannot be convicted solely based on someone reporting. The police officer asked, "Is there any evidence?" Gu Fei expected the police to ask such a question. He also knows how to calculate by time. He usually didn't touch that chicken at all. So at this moment, the half-fan chicken should still be on his table. Police officer, there is evidence, but I didn't bring it. My suggestion is that you can first go to the steel rolling mill to inquire if any public property is lost. Then go find Hiyuzhu, and the chicken is on his table. After listening, the police looked up and thought to themselves, is this kid teaching him how to do things? Gu Fei continued. I also did this because I heard earlier that there were thieves in the steel rolling mill. But the thief hasn't been caught for so long. The reason is that they are sheltering each other internally. You can just go over and thoroughly investigate. After that, if we catch the thief all at once, the evidence is conclusive, can we directly convict him? Police officer Wang Qing nodded, but the solution was also feasible. Just put the investigation in advance and prepared more thoroughly. At the same time, he also knew in his heart. The informant Gu Fei and the informant Hiyuzhu are from the same hospital. I probably don't want to reveal my identity. Reporting such incidents, although for the public and the people. But for those whose interests are touched upon. It can be said that hatred runs deep into the bone. So in order to ensure the safety of the whistleblower. Generally, anonymity is chosen. Gu Fei did not remain anonymous, but requested that they first investigate the steel rolling mill. I guess it's also a way to break away from some connections. To avoid being hated by others in the future. Gu Fei didn't know what the police were thinking, so he only talked to himself about the second thing. As for the stick meme, stealing chickens. Police comrade, although Bataji is only 5 or 6 years old now, he is still a child. But you must not let him go. You should know that many bad things are accumulated from doing a small thing since childhood. As the saying goes, do not do evil for the sake of small things. So please handle it seriously. If he were to escape, I don't know what else he would do in the future. Gu Fei's every word is a concern. Just like the uncle of the stick meme, treat him extremely seriously and only for his good. The police nodded, the truth is indeed this. Wang Qing promises that as long as there is evidence, children will definitely know that they are wrong. If education is not in place, it is their dereliction of duty. Gu Fei nodded in indignation. Finally, I asked how to judge both situations. Wang Qing closed the pen cap and began to spread the law. Due to the ongoing development of the law at this time, the issue of conviction is not so sound. So it's easy to get a heavy penalty. Like a child stealing things. After all, as children, the main thing is to criticize and educate them. Those with serious circumstances, that is, those who know their mistakes but do not correct them, need to be sent to the juvenile detention center. Parents also have to take responsibility and should be compensated. At the same time, advise them to discipline their children well in the future, and that's about it. However, in the face of adults experiencing such situations, it may take 10 days and a half for reflection. After all, it infringes on public power. It's not that easy to solve. Gu Fei nodded. It's similar to what he thinks. I hope this big and small can be corrected as soon as you know your mistakes, don't just squat in the orange. Since the case has been reported, Gu Fei should hurry back and watch the excitement. He can't wait to see stupid Zhu and Stick Gung punished. And the police quickly dispatched 2 people to investigate. Strive for a good person to blame, and never let go of any bad person. When Gu Fei returned to the courtyard, I never expected that those bandits would almost start fighting over a chicken. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. Police arrives, the whole courtyard shakes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You said you didn't steal my chicken. Why can't you explain clearly where you got this half-fan chicken? If you ask me, it was stolen from my house. This morning, with your ability, it's not an easy task to cook the plucking tape. Su Damao became increasingly brave when his wife Lu Xiao reached out to stop him. I wish I could just step forward and fight with Heyuzhu. And Heyuzhu's side was also furious. Although Su Damao affirmed his ability between the lines. But he's not stupid either. He can tell that this cunning person is trying to make everyone recognize him. He stole the chicken, did he make it, and even ate half of it. Qin Huairu was completely aggrieved, with pear blossoms and rain on her face. She grabbed Heyuzhu on the other side and said, "Silly pillar, don't get excited. We can't fight. If we move our hands, it's really hard to explain. Perhaps it's a bit heartache to see the Qinhuai pear blossoms with rain." Heyuzhu looked at the Huaihua and Xiaodang behind her. Finally, calm down. Anyway, I didn't do this, no matter what you say, I didn't do it. Whoever did it will admit it themselves. If anyone wants to frame me, see how I can spare you. Listen to Heyuzhu biting so hard. Qin Huairu was even more embarrassed. She withdrew both hands and rubbed them against her hem, sweating profusely in the other hand. Just now, the meme was forced to be explained to her. He stole this chicken and finished it with his sister. The bones were thrown outside, and silly Zhu had even seen them. At present, this foolish big guy only focuses on Su Damao. I didn't realize what I saw this morning. It wouldn't be good if I had to react later and quickly refute it before shaking it out again. Thinking of this, Qin Huairu became even more nervous. She poked Heyuzhu's hand. The other party didn't understand what she meant, so they took a glance and put their hands back. Qin Huairu tugged at him again. Silly Zhu, this guy's anger has just dissipated a bit. I just came to my senses. Qin Huairu wanted to find him for something. Gu Fei watched everything from the side. Although the current development is somewhat different from what he sees in TV dramas. But the big difference is not that he understands. This Qin Huairu is about to start using beauty and pity to seek the protection of Heyuzhu. Since silly Zhu is willing to be the scapegoat. Then he doesn't want to get involved too much. This man and woman whispered for a while. I saw Heyuzhu tapping his forehead beside me, as if he had a sudden realization. Then he said all the unexpected things. Yes, that's right, I stole the chicken. Heyuzhu is indeed thinking about stick memes. This child is only 5 years old. Where do you know right or wrong? In addition, the conditions of the Ru family in Qinhuai are so poor. When 3 children were lacking in nutrition, they had not eaten any meat for so many years. How could you not want to eat chicken? Although it is not right for the child to do so. But that is also because adults cannot receive education, and conditions have not been given. Qin Huai is a woman who has to support a large family. Because the child's back and tongue are definitely not good. And he is a strong man, take on the responsibility once you have it. Thinking so, Heyuzhu was still somewhat moved by his spirit of dedication. The people around heard this reversal. At first, I would rather die than admit it, but now I suddenly admit it, which is a bit foolish. Pillar, are you telling the truth? What's going on? I can't understand even after watching the excitement. That's right, so after all, it was just silly Zhu who stole it, I'll tell you. Why didn't you recognize it just now? Playing with us. Su Damao is also somewhat confused. But since he usually recognizes it, he has to lose money. The chickens he worked hard to raise cannot be thrown away for nothing. Compensation. 5 yuan. How much? He usually thought he had misunderstood. 5 yuan. You're grabbing money. What kind of chicken do you dare to ask for 5 yuan? Su Damao is happy. Pili Pali is a theory of hens laying eggs and chicks laying eggs. I'm not even counting on you, otherwise you'll compensate me for that half chicken. The whole hospital knows that he usually is the chef, and the chicken flavor is absolutely good. The chicken made for 5 yuan and half a fan looks like it's all earned by Su Damao. Gu Fei knew it was time to go to court and quickly called Zhonghai. Mr. Yi, could you say something? He usually acknowledged it, but I always feel strange. How should this be resolved? When Grandpa Yi heard that Gu Fei wanted him to preside over justice, I still feel a bit proud in my heart. In the eyes of Zhonghai, Gu Fei is just a passerby named Jia, Yi, Bing, and Ding. Although it's not important, it can also be very useful for holding up a scene when necessary. So he took advantage of the situation and went up. Since everyone wants me to preside over justice, let me say a few words. He usually also acknowledged this matter, that's he usually's fault. No matter what the reason is, stealing a chicken is not right. I think Su Damao's proposal is acceptable. The heavier punishment is also a warning. In the future, remember that there is still half a fan of chicken for these 5 yuan, and you won't make any more mistakes. As soon as Zhonghai finished speaking, everyone cheered. He is extremely proud in his heart. Just then, the police arrived. Give way, please give way, everyone. May I ask who is Hiyuju and Bangji? Hiyuju saw that he was a police officer and admitted that he had never done anything wrong. He quickly stepped forward and reported his name. Hello comrade, I am Hiyuju. At the sight of the police coming, Bang Ji couldn't hold his breath and began to cry loudly. The police are here to arrest me. Qin Huiru couldn't hold on to that child no matter how hard she tried. After confirming the identities of Hiyuju and Bang Gung, Wang Qing said. Hello, we have received a report from an insider. Hiyuju is suspected of stealing national public grain, and Bang Gung is suspected of stealing neighbors' chickens. Please both of you come back with us for investigation. What? This statement shocked the entire hospital. What's going on? It's completely different from what we just said. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Successful reporting, reward received. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Not only are the spectators in the entire hospital dumbfounded. Even Zhonghai and Su Damao were stunned. What's going on? Isn't the chicken stolen by Hiyuju? Why did it become a meme? What's wrong with silly Pillar stealing national public grain? Zhonghai took the lead and asked. Police officer, what is the situation? Wang Qin looked like an old man, so he calmed his emotions first. Then I will say to everyone. This is a search warrant. The informant said that the evidence is at Hiyuju's house, and we need to go in and confirm it now. We still need to go in and confirm. Hiyuju felt a bit unhappy upon hearing this. As soon as the police spoke, he knew what the so-called national public grain referred to. That half chicken is still sitting on the table in his room. If we go in here, wouldn't it be that the evidence of the crime is conclusive and all the stolen goods are obtained? No one has ever investigated this before, why did someone suddenly report it? It's best not to let him know who it is, otherwise he won't let it go. Police officer, I think there was a misunderstanding. I'm an honest person, how could I possibly steal national grain? Hiyuzhu smiled foolishly, as if he was truly honest. But police officer Wang Qing ignored him. They have already been to the steel mill just now. The employees inside have already explained it. Hiyuzhu does have some unclean hands and feet. Every time I go home, I always want to take some time off. It is also said that it may be a bad habit left by his father back then, who always likes to take advantage of small things. They have advised several times in their factory that they cannot take it due to different eras. But the He family doesn't listen at all, their factory is a helpless place. I hope the police can treat him well. Wang Qing is an honest and hardworking police officer. Just cross over Hiyuzhu and go search the house. Hiyuzhu was momentarily anxious and unexpectedly stepped out to block Wang Qing's path. Plus, this silly pillar is tall and imposing. Wang Qing thought he was going to move around. What are you doing? Hindering duty is an even worse crime. The neighbors on the side dare not provoke the police. One after another, they urged, what are you doing, silly pillar? Get out of the way. That's right. No matter whether you stole it or not, you can't block the police's way. Even worse, he hurried to push the door of Hiyuzhu's house with a quick eye. Warmly invite the police to search the house. As soon as the door opens, there's no need to search at all. That half fan of chicken is on Hiyuzhu's table. Just now, everyone was arguing because of it. At this point, everyone's minds finally turned around. It's true that Hiyuzhu stole public food. As for Su Damao's chicken, it was secretly caught by the stick meme. The truth is revealed. Everyone is clamoring for the police to quickly arrest Hiyuzhu and Bang Gung. Especially great memes. I just kept hiding behind the crowd. If it weren't for the police coming, the child would have almost made a mistake but retreated completely. Police comrades, quickly take them all away. Oh, I didn't expect such thieves to appear in our yard, and as soon as they do, there are 2 of them. That's to say, it really tarnishes the reputation of our hospital. Bang Ji cried even louder now. He just wanted to eat a chicken, why did he attract the police? Comrade Wang Qing plans to pull a stick and joke out. As a result, the child kept crying and punching and kicking. I'm not going. I'm not going. Mom, please save me. Mom, not only did I eat chicken, but also Huaihua and Xiaodang. Why didn't the police catch them? When the neighbors heard this, they felt even more amazed. This child, he made a mistake and wants to take both of his sisters with him. Huaihua and Xiaodang are only a few years old, not to mention chickens, birds are afraid. There is a big crime of stealing when eating along. Qin Huiru's tears flowed down her face, making her whole body feel uncomfortable. Jia Zhang was so anxious in the back that she stomped her feet. I wish I could twist a wrap around Qin Huiru's body. I don't care, if Bada Ji is taken away by the police today, it's because you're sorry to our Jia family. This is to Qin Huiru. The latter is really helpless. I had to beg the police. Police officer, the meme is still small. If there's anything we can't educate as parents, why don't you arrest me? Wang Qing glanced at Qin Huiru and said. You are the mother of the meme, right? It is indeed your responsibility for not managing the child well. You really need to come with us. This was completely unexpected by Qin Huiru. How did you save your son and even get yourself involved? Jia Zhang only felt it was unbearable. Then she still won't act, if there is still her share, it will be over. Immediately, she thought of Zhonghai and quickly went to find him. Zhonghai didn't want to cause such a thing. It's a nail on the head, people will definitely take it away. It's no use begging for mercy now. He secretly said to Jia Zhang. I know you're in a hurry, and I'm also in a hurry. But being urgent now is not a solution. Wait a minute, let them take the people away first. We'll see if we can find a way to catch them this afternoon. Jia Zhang nodded. Gu Fei could hear clearly from the side. Want to catch people? No way. If we really want them to succeed, what's the point of our own report? With the sound of wailing. Bang Gung and He Yuzhu were taken away by the police like that. They had just handcuffed their front feet and left the door of the courtyard. Gu Fei subsequently received generous rewards from the system. Drop, congratulations to the host for successfully reporting Bang Gung stealing chicken and He Yuzhu stealing public grain, please receive physical rewards. 1 bag of white noodles, half a fan of pork legs, and 3 pounds of lard. Please claim skill rewards. Master level cooking skills, Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Master Cooking. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Master level cooking skills. Upon hearing this word, Gu Fei's mind was like touching a key button. A large amount of memories from the original owner flooded in. Previously, Gu Fei passed away due to his mother's early illness. My father has always been working hard at the steel rolling mill to support me. Unexpectedly, due to a machine malfunction a year ago, father accidentally fell and died. Gu Feizai became an orphan. At that time, the leaders in the factory were very sad. I lost 50 yuan to their family and went into mourning. I also comforted him by arranging a small job. He works as an apprentice in the kitchen of a steel rolling mill. He is said to be an apprentice, but in the end, he is just a laborer. Low salary, tiring work, and often being bullied. Gu Fei didn't expect his original body to be so miserable. He decided to develop well and shine in this family in the future. It's almost noon now. Today is a work day, he needs to hurry to work. So no matter what the back of the yard was doing, I quickly went back to the house to pick up my bag and set off. As I was about to leave, I saw Zhonghai pushing his bicycle and saying to Jia and Zhang. I know you're in a hurry, but don't worry for now. The police don't know how to deal with stick memes, I still have to go to work. Don't worry, I'm off work this afternoon. I'll definitely accompany you to the police station to inquire about the situation. After speaking, Zhonghai stepped onto his bicycle and left. Gu Fei knows their calculations, but it's important to work at this moment. Without meddling in his own affairs, he quickly ran to the steel rolling mill based on his original memory. As soon as I arrived at the kitchen, I heard a lot of complaints inside. Why hasn't the chef come yet? He won't stop coming, will he? You say, our chef won't really be caught by the police, will he? Don't talk nonsense, I've never checked before. If I ask today, I'm not sure what might happen. If you want me to see it, it's better to catch it. He Yuzhu, who takes public food every day, is like a thief. The person who said this is the deputy chef. Bu Jiangli. This person has always been at odds with He Yuzhu. One of them came in through personal connections, and their skills are far inferior to those of pillars. Secondly, he speaks and acts too harshly, which is not well received. He knew in his heart that He Yuzhu was much more likable than him, and he always gave him a head up. I wish my father.In.law could find a way to open it for him. Gu Fei simply clarified these relationships through the original owner's memory. Only then did I realize. He actually reported his own leader. Just then someone ran over, who was also a kitchen worker. He gasped and said, "No, it's not good. Chef, he really had the police catch him." As soon as these words were spoken, the kitchen exploded. It's all because of your talkative nature. If the police ask, it's okay not to say anything. You guys are better off, I'll explain everything in detail. How can you be called talkative? He did it, and once he did it, he had to admit his mistake. Oh my, we're about to start work, how can we deal with it without a chef? Bu Jiangli suddenly stood up. What's wrong without a chef? I'm still here, aren't I? Stop talking, it's time. Hurry up and prepare the dishes. If anyone dares to delay my cooking, be careful I won't be polite. The others in the kitchen felt a headache when they heard his commanding tone. No one wants to do it. But unfortunately, he is the assistant chef and holds a higher position than them. I had to go busy with work full of anger. Some people even form small groups. 2 or 3 people are gathered together holding vegetables. Peel vegetables while chatting. Gu Fei thinks this is an opportunity. Coincidentally, his chef skills can be used to test the water. So I quickly peeled a potato and prepared to cut it on the chopping board. Unexpectedly, as soon as the washed potatoes were placed on the table, the kitchen knife was held down by someone. What are you doing? A group of chefs gathered around and said, You miscellaneous worker, you still want to start cutting vegetables. A little knife work won't cause any trouble here. Go back and peel your potatoes. And the vegetables, all peeled and washed clean, do you hear me? If I see you wield the knife again, I'll deduct your salary. Good guy, even the kitchen staff doesn't allow him to be a handyman cutting vegetables. It seems that stir-frying is not worth thinking about. Another laborer quickly came over to pull Gu Fei. Saying there's too much work to handle, ask him to quickly give a hand. Gu Fei smiled and said that stir-frying is not urgent. Let's take a look at the skills of this group of people first. Without Hiyuzhu, the kitchen was a mess of tinkling and clattering. Bu Jiangli ordered people to deliver condiments, but no one wanted to talk to him. Even due to the excessive heat, many dishes were slightly charred. The last plate after plate of dishes barely came out of the pot. The workers who worked hard all morning came to serve aluminum boxed meals. Take a look at the results. Ah! There are no dishes in the big iron plate. One by one, they are soft and there are also clumps of mushy things that I dare not eat. In the end, only coarse mantou is the most delicious food. The employees are in unbearable pain. The leaders didn't expect it either. They knew that Hiyuzhu had been arrested. But everyone is busy with work, thinking that there should be a deputy director guarding the kitchen, so nothing should happen. At first glance at the dishes, it felt like the sky had collapsed. Is this the dish stir-fried for lunch today? Bu Jiangli, how did you become the deputy chef? If you can't do it, then don't do it. Director Yang dropped the boxed lunch and became increasingly angry as he thought about it. This meal was okay. If Hiyuzhu commits that crime, even if he only criticizes education, he will not be able to come back to work for 2 days. Besides, how could someone with a history of stealing make him the head chef again? By this calculation, wouldn't every meal be so unpleasant in the future? No way. Director Yang can't stand this anymore. Make a decision now. Let's put aside the afternoon work for now, they need to quickly find a new head chef. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Zhonghai leaving work without reason without authorization. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Looking for a new chef. Everyone in the kitchen became extremely angry upon hearing this news. It's all the deputy chef's fault. He has lost face in showing off his ability to cook all by himself. When everyone was furious, Gu Fei was very happy. This is simply a great opportunity. There is a buildup of fire in the kitchen. The technicians at the front steel rolling mill are also quite uncomfortable. Especially Zhonghai. He was supposed to preside over justice this morning. The result not only misjudged the person, but also caught the attention of the police. That's it. Even his retirement candidate was arrested by the police. Who knows how to judge something with conclusive evidence? I already have a headache. The lunch is still so unpleasant. Now there is a salty taste in my mouth. It's simply exhausting both physically and mentally. After enduring for about 20 minutes, my stomach suddenly began to growl. It's bad, it's not bad to eat anymore, it's still bad to eat. He quickly ran to the toilet. I didn't expect to get hungry again when I came out of the restroom. Thinking that there isn't much work on hand anyway, it's definitely more than enough to finish it in such a long afternoon. Taking advantage of this time, no one stared around and he was extremely hungry again. Why not sneak out for a while and buy a bowl of wonton mat? Dare to do what you think. Zhonghai walked directly across the door and headed towards Chaos Store, a kilometer away. A bowl of hot and steaming soup that can be easily wiped off the corners of the mouth. Check the time, it's almost half an hour, so it's important to hurry back. Unexpectedly, just as he got up, he ran into Jia Zhang. Hey, isn't this Grandpa E? You're not going to work, why are you here? Coincidentally, hurry up and come with me to the police station to see the memes. Zhong waved his hand repeatedly. It's not possible yet. I just finished my meal and was about to rush back to work. Shanggong. Jia Zhang's eyes rolled. Is it possible that this incident was caused by absenteeism and escaping from work? Judging from his hurried demeanor, that's probably it. Although the old man did have an urgent matter, Jia Zhang did not intend to let him go. She inquired about it. The police station closes at 5 or 6 o'clock. The closing time of the steel rolling mill is exactly 6 o'clock. This doesn't happen to be missed. Zhonghai, this cunning old man, wouldn't be unaware of this situation. I just don't want to go, so find a reason to evade. Grandpa E, you've all come out now. What's so urgent? On my grandson's side, this child is only a few years old, probably crying uncontrollably. Oh my! What if my grandson cried so badly? Mr. E, please come with me to take a look. If we go today, we can bring the person back. My grandson can't go to jail. Besides, don't you think of any rain pillar at all? Hiyuzhu. When it comes to Hiyuzhu, Zhonghai thinks of the lunch. This kitchen, I really can't do without him. But hesitated for 2 seconds. Before Zhonghai could regain his senses, Jia Zhang directly pulled him and left. Originally, Jia Zhang only wanted to go see her grandson by herself. Although there is no solution at all. But crying and making a fuss are still possible. Maybe we'll persuade the police to release the person. I ran into Zhonghai right now. It's a godsend opportunity. A person who can speak eloquently and morally kidnap. Bring it over, that's a 100% chance of winning. The two hurriedly arrived at the police station. Wang Qing recognized these two familiar faces at a glance. Also clear about the purpose of the visit. Qin Huairu turned around and saw that her mother and Grandpa E had arrived. She was so aggrieved that her eyes turned red. Zhonghai was so pitiful that I couldn't help but pat Qin Huairu's shoulder to comfort her. Wang Qing said, "You want to come and see me, right?" Jia Zhang shook her head and quickly said, No, police officer, we would like to trouble you." Wang Qing, who had been on duty for 2 years, could guess in an instant what this mother-in-law was going to say. He quickly reached out and stopped. "Once the evidence is conclusive and the perpetrator pleads guilty, we will convict him. I can accept visiting, but if you want to do something else, it's better to give up your thoughts early." Jia Zhang still refused to let go and continued to ask, "Can't we just be accommodating?" Zhonghai is worried that this woman will be disliked. He knows how to be a good person, so quickly stop her and say, "Don't make it difficult for the police, they also act in accordance with the law. Who let the child make a mistake? If they make a mistake, they should be caught. Whether it's criticizing education or going to jail, it's just right. Upon hearing this, Jia Zhang became unhappy. I originally came to you to help out of guilt, but instead, I went to help others. Zhonghai completely ignored Jia Zhang's curved eyes. He continued to ask with a flattering smile. Police officer, I would like to ask how both of these children were judged. Wang Qing said, the bigger He has a more serious plot. We are preparing to detain him for 15 days for criticism and education. What about the small one? Jia Zhang interrupted. This little joke, after all, is a child, so I won't punish him anything. But we need to stay here for 3 days. We need to talk to him carefully to avoid making big mistakes in the future. 3 days. Jia Zhang suddenly felt relieved, fortunately it was just preaching. 3 days may seem long, but not long. I heard that the police station also manages food, so the food must be better than at home. Simply preaching, it's okay to stay a few more days. Jia Zhang felt comfortable, but Zhonghai felt even more uncomfortable. His eldest son He is actually going to be locked up for 15 days. Isn't it that every meal these 15 days has been like this? How much money does he have to spend eating outside? Thinking about it, Zhonghai frowned but inexplicably sneezed. In the steel rolling mill. Gu Fei will take a break from work after finishing his work. Come back at 4 or 5 in the evening to prepare dinner. He bounced out of the door, not expecting to pass by Zhonghai's workstation. This guy is actually not here. He just asked curiously. It was discovered that Zhonghai had been absent from work for at least 2 hours. Oh. Leaving work without permission and being absent without reason is not allowed to be reported properly. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Reporting. Report directly. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Without saying a word, Gu Fei ran to knock on the leader's door. Director Yang, how can we make a ruling if an old employee in our factory is absent from work for more than 2 hours without reason? Absenteeism for more than 2 hours without reason. Yang Huanqing suddenly stopped his pen and straightened his eyes to look at Gu Fei. Gu Fei has an impression on him. After all, the accident of his father Gu Guixing back then was a major regret for their factory. So for this kid, they will take care of him when needed. He said with a smile on his face. So it's Xiao Gu. In general, in this situation, our factory will fine 2 days' wages. He will also cancel his quarterly performance evaluation. You've been in our factory for a year now, shouldn't you know? Gu Fei certainly knows. I just want to hear the factory director say it again personally to ensure that the punishment measures are still applicable. Since it's still the same as before, he'll get straight to the point. Director Yang, I will report it. Zhonghai, a 7th-level fitter in the 2nd workshop of the West Factory, has been absent from work for over 2 hours without any reason. What? Yang Huanqing was shocked. Zhonghai has been in the factory for so many years. As the oldest employee with the highest qualifications. Surprisingly, one day I dared to ignore the factory regulations. No, this is only 2 hours. How many dare to be so bold and leave for so long at once? It seems that Zhonghai has been doing this for a long time. So my courage is getting fatter and my absenteeism is getting longer and longer. No, he must go and deal with it quickly. Generally speaking. The rules of hierarchical management in the factory. Zhonghai should report any issues to the deputy factory director first. Important matters are reported to the factory director only when they are indecisive. At present, Zhonghai dares to commit a foul. The deputy factory director has never reported the issue with It can be seen that these two people are probably colluding. After Yang Huanqing figured out this point, not only did it not blame Gu Feiyue for the report. Instead, I think he did well and was smart. This time he will be punished together with the deputy factory director. Putting down his pen, Yang Huanqing quickly ran to the second district of the West Factory. The person is indeed not here. Yang Huanqing is very angry. Say directly to the workshop next to you. When Zhonghai comes back, call him to my office. After speaking, I went to find the deputy factory director. This kind of leadership training is certainly attractive. But seeing it can easily cause trouble for oneself. Gu Fei pondered for a while, but ultimately failed to keep up. I have only walked less than 200 meters from the rolling mill. Gu Fei saw Zhonghai coming back. He didn't say hello either and walked straight ahead. After another 800 meters, I heard the sound of the system reward being received. Drop, congratulations to the host for successfully reporting Zhonghai's absenteeism, and Deputy Factory Director Li's crime of sheltering, please receive physical rewards. 1 bicycle ticket, 1 bag of polished rice, and 2 processed chickens and ducks. It seems that Director Yang punished both of them this time, it's really refreshing. Unfortunately, there were no skill rewards this time. It seems that the case is not significant. There should be more rewards for major cases. Looking at the train ticket, Gu Fei was somewhat happy and lost in thought. It's at least 2 miles from the courtyard to where he works. Walking every day is a good way to exercise. But it takes too much time. Isn't having a bicycle much more convenient? It's a pity. At his monthly salary level of 7 yuan. Not to mention bicycles, just go to the next restaurant and there won't be any extra money. If we just ride a bicycle back. Not to mention the cunning beasts in the courtyard, they need to have ideas. Ordinary people would suspect that he must have done something illegal. He is the one who reports. I can't be reported by others anymore. No, we still need to quickly find a way to rationalize buying a car. Unconsciously, it was already evening. There is still a dinner to be cooked in the factory. Gu Fei had to hurry back. I only stepped into the kitchen with my front foot. A group of chattering people almost pushed him out. What's going on? Gu Fei stubbornly squeezed in to take a look. Good guy. The kitchen becomes the battlefield directly. The ingredients are everywhere. A group of chefs gathered together, not doing anything else, but actually competing to cut vegetables. Gu Fei politely asked another laborer next to him to find out. This is not like cutting vegetables. This is the on-site Chef King competition. If not, go down. That's it. Chef leader is not something anyone can do. Deputy chef, as we all know, your culinary skills make people laugh when you're at the bottom, so don't compare yourself. Who said I'm at the bottom? Who said I'm at the bottom? Bu Jiangli is in a hurry. His cooking skills alone are comparable to those of the 6 chefs in the room, and none of them can win. Even another laborer, relying on the foundation of cooking at home every day. He is also much stronger than him. Looking at him, he is really at the bottom. Everyone present didn't expect it. This was originally a culinary competition to determine who would be the head chef. Comparing the results, it's not worth mentioning that no one can be the head chef. In the end, the nature of the competition also changed. Surprisingly, it turned out to be who came last. Actually, it's because Bu Jiangli, a related person, doesn't like him and wants to crush him. Just as Bu Jiangli looked around and became the target of criticism, everyone laughed at him. He saw his savior in life. Gu Fei. This kid knows that he has never touched a spatula before. Eating is usually done in the factory, so there is no chance to stir fry. Looking at it this way, he must be the first one everywhere. As long as someone can put him at the bottom, he wins. Gu Fei, come and compete with me. Bu Jiangli's words were extremely proud, as if victory was imminent. Gu Fei was speechless. But since he wants to compete, let's play with him. Okay, I'll fight. Everyone doubted whether they had heard the wrong thing. Gu Fei, a person who has never even touched a kitchen knife, is actually going to face the challenge of stir-frying. Even if Bu Jiangli's cooking skills are not good, they are just far inferior to these chefs. Do Gu Fei really know what he's talking about? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Gu Fei is just a laborer. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Gu Fei, you're just a laborer, don't worry about him. If this fails, it would be too embarrassing. Another laborer, Xiao Jiang, whispered and advised. Gu Fei patted his shoulder, his face calm. Then stand in front of the table. Everyone around now has different expressions. There was a serious expression on his face as he watched the battle, thinking that this kid might have something. There are those who don't care about winning or losing and only want to watch the excitement. More of a desire to see jokes. It's really interesting to have two last people competing here. Gu Fei naturally understands the psychology of the spectators. But I don't intend to let them do it. Pick up the potatoes and peel them casually, then peel a basket of them 3 times and divide them by 5. Cut, after all, I've been working as a laborer for so long. If this doesn't work out, I might as well resign. Everyone doesn't think this is very impressive. Some even exclaimed, you peel it back, don't use so much stir-fry. If it doesn't taste good, it's a waste of food. Speaking, he only took out 2 to test Gu Fei's hand. Gu Fei doesn't mind. Pick up 2 casually and start cutting. At this point, the master-level culinary skills instantly penetrate the entire body. Gu Fei felt as if there was a constant flow of power between his hands. I saw him wielding his sword. Like a machine with precisely fixed spacing. The continuous sound of sizzles. 2 potatoes quickly turn into shreds. I've been staring at those chefs around me who have been learning for many years. That's impossible. Didn't it mean he never used a knife? Someone pinched a potato shred, crystal clear like a thread, even able to pierce through the pinhole of a large needle. Is this really a knife craftsman I haven't learned before? I haven't learned this technique even after practicing for 3 years. I'm a bit dazed. I didn't expect Gu Fei to really have some skills. And Bu Jiangli next to him is cutting meat. At a glance, I saw Gu Fei's shredded potatoes and instantly broke out in a cold sweat. He has asked Heyuzhu before. That guy said he has never seen Gu Fei cooking at home and has been eating in the cafeteria. And they also do not allow Gu Fei to learn cooking skills. After all, even fools can tell. Gu Fei is a fast learner and diligent. Just looking at him doing odd jobs shows that he has a talent for stir-frying. If this teaches him how to stir-fry, there won't be any position for him as a deputy chef in the future. Maybe even Heyuzhu can get him to do it. So he had been suppressing Gu Fei along with the other chefs before. Pull him out of this competition. One is to find someone to be at the bottom. The second is to dampen his enthusiasm and make him realize that he lacks culinary talent, so he might as well keep doing odd jobs. But I didn't expect him to be so strong when he got started. Startled, Bu Jiangli didn't even want to compete anymore. He didn't want to really be at the bottom. I'm tired, I won't work anymore, Bu Jiangli said. Don't interfere, keep comparing, everyone wants to see it, said the crowd. At this moment, they are not yet aware of the seriousness of the problem. Just be sure to see Bu Jiangli's joke and shatter his last layer of dignity. Gu Fei ignored the others and continued to prepare his own dishes. There are 2 in total. A portion of sour and spicy shredded potatoes, and a portion of stir-fried meat with green peppers. Peel and slice pork, shred green peppers. Then prepare a hot pot and pour oil. The person burning the fire asked him how high the heat was and whether he wanted a low heat to try first, so as not to stir-fry the pot. Gu Fei shook his hand and said, "Of course stir-frying is a big fire. Hey! Everyone is getting excited. I didn't expect Gu Fei to be so serious, so let's make a big fuss about him." The firewood at the bottom of the pot was burning fiercely, and the flames surged 3 feet high. Everyone felt that Gu Fei couldn't hold on to making a joke. But I didn't expect it to be right in front of me. Gu Feiding has taken a pot. 2 times 3 times. Good guy, this pot top requires 30 years of skill. This shock is not over yet. I saw Gu Fei adding seasoning without even looking at the spoon, just based on his feelings. Everyone was stunned by it. No. He doesn't even worry about putting too much or too little material. Amidst the exclamation of everyone. A dish takes 5 minutes, and after serving the seasoning, it's ready to be cooked. A group of people gathered around and completely ignored Bu Jiangli. But the leader in charge of personnel, Qiu Jijun, had only just entered the kitchen, and Bu Jiangli quickly went up to complain. Qiu Jijun glanced at Bu Jiangli, and he didn't like this kind of relationship. What's going on? The kitchen doesn't cook, what's going on here? Qiu Jijun was originally worried about problems with the kitchen. After all, the lunch was poorly cooked, leaving him with no energy to work all afternoon. It seems that there is no head chef, and the back chef is dissatisfied with Bu Jiangli, who is a related deputy chef. So take advantage before dinner. He decided to come and take a look and tell everyone about the plan to find a new head chef in the factory. To stabilize everyone's emotions, don't make dinner so unpleasant. Otherwise, everyone's salary will be deducted. Unexpectedly, if someone wants to explain it, they haven't said it yet. A fragrance wafted over his nose. What's the smell so good? Following the taste, my gaze caught sight of a plate of shiny yellow potato shreds. Just the color, aroma, and fragrance make his stomach itch. Who did this? Qiu Jijun asked and hugged a pair of chopsticks, ready to pick up the vegetables. The people in the kitchen were all scared out of their wits. Everyone has never tasted it, who knows how it tastes? If it doesn't taste good, I'll probably get scolded hard. In order to avoid criticism, everyone urgently pushed Gu Fei forward. What he did? It has nothing to do with us. Bu Jiangli also added. Yes, it's all done by this laborer. How dare you stir-fry private dishes with public grain? I'll deduct his wages later. Qiu Jijun ignored all this and simply put the vegetables in his mouth. In just an instant, the whole person froze in place. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Direct promotion to chef. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The chefs in the kitchen were even more worried when they saw the leader stunned. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have let him stir-fry. All right now, you won't even curse us later, will you? There was a rustling sound of conversation. Qiu Jijun didn't hear a word. At this moment, his mind, mouth, and heart are all on this potato shred. One bite is not enough, take another bite. Then he picked up another big chopstick. It's so delicious, it's just an impact on the taste buds. This is not even a bit stronger than He Yushu's craftsmanship. Why haven't you eaten such a dish before? The chef saw Qiu Jijun eating non-stop and inexplicably let go of his hanging gallbladder. I even have some doubts, is it so delicious? If it weren't for the leader's presence, I would really like to try using chopsticks. Bu Jiangli watched from the side, his heart pounding incessantly. He is really worried that the leader will eventually take a liking to his dishes. I'm done squeezing out my own spot. After trying it for 3 minutes, Zhou Jijun suddenly spoke. Gu Fei. He looked at the handsome young man in front of him. I didn't expect that Gu Guoxing's son would be so ostentatious. It's even more unexpected that the cooking skills are so good, much more impressive than he usually. Did you stir-fry this dish? He asked with a smile as he pointed to the dish. Gu Fei nodded and said, what do you think of the taste? Okay, it's really great. Zhou Jijun said with full confidence. The entire kitchen heard this praise. Gu Fei let go of his worries. It seems that this master-level culinary skill does have something to offer. It seems that you have learned a lot in the kitchen. What else can you do? Stir-fry 2 more dishes, and I'll also see your results. Zhou Jijun thought that all of this was learned by Gu Fei in the kitchen, and he quite appreciated it. The chefs felt a bit guilty when they heard that they had learned a lot. How everyone has treated him this year, everyone has a deep understanding in their hearts. A few dare to say that they have taught him before. Now everyone is afraid that Gu Fei will say something unfavorable to them. Looking at Gu Fei with worried eyes one by one. But Gu Fei completely ignored the eyes of those people. Just go prepare and stir-fry. He certainly knows that giving small reports at this time will earn him some rewards. But at this moment, taking advantage of misunderstandings and showcasing one's skills is the most important thing. Make the leader feel that he is learning in the kitchen, and then promote his position and raise his salary. It is the long-term advantage. Perhaps it was because Gu Fei did not report to the leader that everyone was not good to him. Perhaps it's because we finally got the big leader, and everyone wants to take the opportunity to show off. At this moment, most people in the kitchen are vying to help Gu Fei. There are those who peel him and those who help him set fire. More proactive in delivering seasoning. For a moment, the kitchen was filled with joy. Zhou Jijun saw everything in his eyes. I didn't expect Gu Fei to do so well in the kitchen, and everyone was willing to help him. Having such connections means having leadership skills. If other dishes are also stir-fried so well, why don't the chef just do the math for him and save the trouble of searching outside? About 15 minutes later. With everyone's help, Gu Fei completed several more dishes. Stir-fried pork with chili, mapo tofu, stewed pork ball in brown sauce, stir-fried sijiking. Each dish is shiny and oily, with a fragrance even higher than mustard. Zhou Jijun tasted it carefully one by one. I feel like I've dug up a big treasure. As a personnel supervisor, faced with such excellent talents, of course we need to use them. So with a pat on the thigh. Delicious. It's so delicious. Gu Fei, your stir-fried dish is much stronger than he usually. So, in the future, you will be the head chef of our steel rolling mill. Are you willing? Oh my goodness. The chefs in the kitchen never expected it. Surprisingly, there is a leader asking employees if they are willing to work as the head chef. How delicious the dishes stir-fried by Gu Fei must be. They are really eager to give it a try at this moment. My mouth has accumulated a lot of saliva. Being the head chef. Gu Fei was somewhat surprised. But the leaders have all spoken up, of course it's dry. Taking advantage of the hot iron, Gu Fei quickly followed Zhou Jijun to the HR department to fill out the promotion form. The two of them just left with their front and back legs. The kitchen staff couldn't wait to come and try the dishes. Oh my God, it's really delicious. This taste is enough for me to learn for a long time. Don't mention it, this potato is stir-fried, it's so refreshing even when it's cold. Look at the stewed pork ball in brown sauce. It's not greasy at all. It's full of juice. It's delicious. So you're all willing to let him be the head chef, someone asked. Well, what's the solution? The leaders have already spoken up. That's right, there's nothing we can say that's certain. Don't you worry about Gu Fei making things difficult for us in the future. Someone expressed concern. Everyone fell silent for an instant. I used to bully Gu Fei and make him do that. Now that they have become the head chef, they will not have a good life in the future. At this moment, the miscellaneous worker who was in the same period as Gu Fei spoke. Gu Fei doesn't know. He didn't complain when you bullied him before. Just now, the leader didn't say anything bad about you here. If you're worried, just treat him better in the future. As soon as everyone heard it, it was indeed true. Gu Feiren is kind and helpful, so he definitely won't be difficult to get promoted at once. It's their petty heart, they must treat Gu Fei better in the future. And Gu Fei's cooking skills far surpass theirs. Speaking according to their strength, Gu Fei deserves their respect. Bu Jiangli was on the side, his teeth itching with hatred. Gu Fei, a laborer, dared to ride on his head. In an instant, it gained everyone's recognition. I really don't take him seriously as an assistant chef. At this moment, he was mentally calculating. See how I can make things difficult for Gu Fei when he comes back later. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. Salary doubles, start cooking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Gu Fei followed Qiu Jijun to the personnel department. I am very excited to see the information on the promotion form. Unexpectedly, not only did the salary increase several times. From the original 12 yuan to the current 37.5 yuan for the head chef. Even welfare benefits have increased significantly. You can also receive rice, noodles, and oil tickets during festivals and holidays. Sometimes sugar and wine are also distributed in the factory. No wonder he Yuzhu lived quite comfortably before. In this era where many places are hungry, he can already receive such a high salary. How can life be bad? No wonder Zhonghai wanted to find him as a senior citizen. Thinking of this, he suddenly had a thought in his mind. In the future, we must never let Zhonghai entangle with him. Sign with satisfaction. Leaving the HR office with a smile. Gu Fei realized that his good days were about to begin. Now even buying a bicycle has sufficient reasons. Calculate the time. Previously, I was busy competing in stir-fried dishes. The dinner for the factory workers is not ready yet. So he hurriedly ran to the back kitchen. This is his first day as the head chef, but he needs to perform well. Some people who were originally worried about the kitchen might not accept him. But I never thought about it. He just stepped into the kitchen. Immediately surrounded by a crowd. Chef Gu, you're back. Chef, we have all the dishes cut and are waiting for you. I've boiled hot water for you, come and wash your hands quickly. It's really a sudden ascent, everyone pays homage and congratulates. Before, Gu Fei was just a part-time worker, and no one looked up to him. Now he has become the head chef personally ordered by the leader. Everyone came to congratulate and say good things. It's just a bit excessive. Appearing to lick the dog too much, to the point of being very abnormal. It makes people feel like there are some calculations inside. Everyone works together, there's no need to be so polite, Gu Fei said. The chefs awkwardly smiled, afraid that the chef would still remember their past grievances. Don't buy into their behavior. You're welcome, it's all something that should be done. This was not good for you before, but now I'm thinking of supplying you. Someone told the truth. Gu Fei smiled and of course he knew the reason, saying. Let's take it slow in the future. We need to hurry up and stir-fry now, otherwise we'll be hungry ahead. The chefs understood at a glance. Suddenly trying to please others and not being accepted by the head chef. I have to keep making up for it in the future. Of course, no matter what, Chef Ren Gu will not calculate these things. It's even more impossible to find their faults for nothing, honest work is the right path. So I quickly dispersed and got busy with my own work. On the side. Bu Jiangli became increasingly angry as he looked at it. Just now, this group of people surrounded him and said he was the last one. I have already lost my entire face and dignity. Now no one cares about him as the assistant chef, all flattering the head chef makes him even more jealous. Anger surged towards the forehead. So when Gu Fei was frying vegetables, he directly scooped up a spoonful of salt and threw it into the pot. It's simply a lethal dose. Everyone in the kitchen looked foolish. For chefs, this kind of smashing the pot is insulting their profession. For a moment, all the chefs who were busy with their own work stopped working. They all came out to block Bu Jiangli. What are you doing? Bu Jiangli was so frightened that he couldn't speak completely. Then, amidst the criticism from everyone, he was forced to squeeze out the kitchen. Without the only curse. The kitchen suddenly became much cleaner. And everyone who reacted was worried about what to do with that pot of food. But Gu Fei held a spatula and pulled a button from the nearby bowl. A part of the salt fell like snowflakes. It was easy to separate the excess salt. Then use the remaining salt to stir-fry a large pot of vegetables. The chefs all admired it. Unexpectedly, Gu Fei could quickly catch the unexpected salt while focusing on stir-frying. What a strong reaction force this must be. Everyone's favorability is constantly increasing. I really underestimated him before. No wonder they can be the head chef. They were completely convinced. One dish after another is taken out of the pot. The workers still wilting in the afternoon. I feel a bit reluctant to eat at night. After all, everyone knows that it's because Hiyuzhu is not here that the food tastes bad. Everyone else has been arrested by the police, and they will definitely not be released in the short term. Dinner is probably still unpleasant. As a result, take a look. The dishes on that big iron plate were steaming hot. The colors are bright and shiny. The key fragrance makes people feel dizzy. How delicious it looks. With a nervous heart, someone tried it. In the end, it degenerated into clinging to a boxed lunch and gnawing on it. Who cooked this dish? It's so much more delicious than before. That's it. It's so delicious, I want to eat this kind of dish every day in the future. I won't say it anymore, I have to queue up for another bowl. In an instant, the entire cafeteria was lined up in a long queue. All the dishes have been eaten. Unfortunately, it's not enough. The kitchen still needs to stir-fry and add a few more plates. Bu Jiangli watched the scene. Angered, he went straight to his father.In.Law to complain. What? And there's this matter. Bu Jiangli's father.In.Law Zhao angrily said while eating the boxed lunch that his subordinates had prepared for him. It's true. Father-in-law, Gu Fei is bullying people too much. Even if I occupy the position of the head chef, I won't be allowed to enter the back kitchen yet. Zhao Ming took the last bite of rice and said. Not just a cook, I really thought I had a lot of skills. How dare I bully my son.In.Law? See how I deal with him. You go back first, I'll find you when I think of a way. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.